And in today's episode, among other things, you'll see that a humanoid robot was filmed cleaning and organizing an entire room by itself, picking up objects, making decisions, and even handling tools, as if it were one of us, a human being. We'll also see a new technology that's giving robots memories of our world, allowing them to remember objects, people, and even events that happened in the past. In Germany, a gigantic robot gym is being built to train hundreds of these humanoid robots. And meanwhile, at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, researchers are developing a new material based on nanotechnology. We'll also look at a study that's quite impressive, one of the most impressive in my opinion, where scientists are using only brain signals to reconstruct and display on video what the rats are watching. Let's try to understand this, friends. Hello, impressed ladies and gentlemen. I'm Carlos Alves, and you're watching Incredible Reality. If you're really observant, you've probably noticed there's something new here in the set, right? No, it's a little different. You know what else is new? Well, let's go over to my PC. I'll show you. Come here, Aurea. Our artificial intelligence now lets you customize your own AI. You can, for example, like in this case here, share your goals with the AI. You can also share interests so these agents can remember them. The goal is to make your artificial intelligence, the agent you created, able to help you with your main interests, whether it's artificial intelligence itself, automation, Internet of Things marketing, in other words, anything you want to do, the kind of support you want from artificial intelligence. You can also add your language preference, how the AI will talk to you, whether it's formal, technical, natural, or persuasive. And if you use artificial intelligence for work, you can use your professional data to customize it the way you want. This data will serve as the basis for the agent's memory and reasoning. You can, for example, add your position, role, department, the sector you're in, your company's level of experience, short and long-term goals, the industry, the size of the company, whether it's micro, small, medium, or large. In other words, there's a lot you can do. I'm just giving a few examples. You have complete freedom to customize your own artificial intelligence any way you want. And if you create your own Jarvis, you know what to do, right? Let me know, because I want a copy too, okay? Use the description or the pinned comment, and you'll be able to try the Aura Artificial Intelligence for 7 days for free. Decide if you want to subscribe, but I guarantee you'll like it and want to join. Thanks, bye, help me, and I'll help you too, okay? It's a fact that around here, we've already seen several companies adopting humanoid robots in their factories. But it's one thing to make these robots work in organized environments, with repetitive tasks where everything is planned in advance. It's another thing to make these robots work in our homes, messy rooms, objects scattered around, items out of place, and decisions that need to be made in real time. Now, a new demonstration from the American company Figura AI has shown a very interesting advancement in this challenge. They released a video of their humanoid robot, Figura 03, tidying up a completely messy living room without any human intervention. During the demonstration, the robot picks up objects scattered around the room, organizes the items, handles tools, and even cleans the surfaces. At one point, the humanoid robot sprays water on a table and then uses a towel to clean it. To free up its hands, it temporarily tucks the towel under its arm, which is very similar to our own behavior. At another moment, the robot grabs a trash can with one of its two hands and starts picking up the blocks and objects scattered on the couch and the table. It also rearranges the couch cushions and manipulates a remote control to press the correct button. All of this requires something extremely complex for machines: full body coordination. The robot needs to walk through tight spaces, adjust the positioning of its feet, manipulate objects with both hands, and make decisions about what to do first. Unlike industrial tasks, where everything is predictable, a living room is a highly unstructured environment. Each object can be in a different place every day. Each situation requires a decision. According to the company, this advancement was made possible thanks to the IRIX-02 system, an artificial intelligence model developed by the company that coordinates different layers of control. The so-called System 2 is responsible for high-level reasoning, understanding the environment, interpreting commands, and planning actions. System I translates these decisions into precise body movements. And System 0 controls the balance and physical adjustments that the robot makes at a very fast speed. According to the company, together, these systems allow the robot to interpret the environment and perform complex tasks using its whole body. According to the Chief Executive Officer of Figura AI, Brett Haycock, humanoid robots, yes, these machines, could start working truly autonomously in the coming years. Or rather, when that happens, tidying up the living room might be just one of the first tasks these robots are learning to do. And that brings us to this next story here. Let's focus on it. Researchers have now used the OpenClaw to give robots something that is extremely important for any form of intelligence: spatial and temporal memory. In practice, this means that the robot is now starting to build a model of the world around it. Instead of just recording isolated images or sensors, the system combines data from LiDAR, red, green, blue camera, stereo cameras, and motion sensors. With this, the robot creates a detailed three-dimensional map of its environment. But the difference lies in something even more interesting. This map doesn't just record where things are, it also records when the events happened. The researchers call this ability the agent's spatial memory, meaning the robot now understands the relationships between objects, places, and moments in time. And this allows it to answer questions like, for example, where did I see a certain object? Who entered this room yesterday? When was something last moved? To build this complex memory, the system uses a technology called Spatial Retrieval Augmented Generation, which organizes the environment into small three-dimensional blocks known as voxels. Each of these blocks contains information about geometry, objects, time, and semantic context. The result is something similar to a three-dimensional database of the physical world. And perhaps the most surprising part is that all of this was made available for free, as open source on GitHub. This means that the system can be adapted for different platforms, from humanoid robots like Unitrue G1 to drones or quadruped robots. In theory, any machine equipped with visual or LiDAR sensors could use this system to develop advanced spatial perception. Many researchers believe that this approach represents a very important step towards so-called embodied intelligence. Because for robots to really live with us human beings, in our daily lives, it's not enough to just see our world. They need to understand what's happening and, most importantly, remember it later. It's something very important for these robots, but they also need to control their own bodies with extreme precision. And that's exactly what we're going to see now in this new system. Focus on it. It's a fact that in most of the scenes we've seen lately here on the channel, where we see the robots doing spectacular moves, somersaults, acrobatics, or even martial arts, there was a small detail hidden behind the cameras. Many times, that was just a movement specially programmed for that demonstration, meaning the robot hadn't really learned that skill. Although it's quite impressive, you can't deny that, right? What they do is just, in quotes, reproduce a previously trained sequence. But now Chinese researchers may have taken a very important step to change all of that. The Beijing Institute for General Artificial Intelligence, in partnership with Unity Robotics, has introduced a new system called Ornix Extreme. The idea is to allow a single artificial intelligence to control a large library of complex movements without losing performance. In humanoid robotics, there is a classic program called the generality barrier, which occurs when researchers try to teach a robot many different movements. Jumps, spins, acrobatics. The system ends up creating safer and more generic movements, which often fail in truly dynamic situations. Ornix Extreme tries to solve this with a two-step method. First, the researchers train the robot in simulation, using the high-capacity model, which learns by observing various movement experts. Instead of creating one skill at a time, the system learns to imitate a wide variety of behaviors at the same time. Then comes the second stage, a refinement using reinforcement learning, which adjusts the movements, taking into account the robot's real physical limitations, such as motor torque, actuator speed, and energy consumption. The goal is to ensure that what works in the simulator also works in the real world, and the results drew a lot of attention. In more than 150 tests carried out on Unitree G1 robots, the system was able to perform different categories of movements. With high success rates, jumps and spins achieved over 96% success, and martial arts movements were above 93%. Even complex skills such as robotic breakdancing were performed, with the next one at 86%. If systems like Ornix Extreme continue to evolve, robots in the future will be able to learn hundreds or even thousands of different physical skills. Well, so far we've seen that robots are really learning, haven't we? Now we're going to see where and how some of them learn all of this. Germany is building a giant gymnasium for humanoid robots. The project is called Technical University of Munich RoboGym and is being developed through a partnership between the Technical University of Munich and the company Nielsen. The center is already being built near Munich Airport and will have about 2,300 square meters of space. The facility will function as a large training ground, where hundreds of humanoid robots will be able to learn tasks repeatedly while being guided by human instructors. The total investment in the project amounts to almost $20 million. According to the researchers involved, the goal is to create an environment where the robots can acquire general skills, which can later be applied in different situations in our world. And among these tasks are activities that seem simple to us, human beings, but are extremely complex for these machines, such as folding boxes, handling tools, or assembling industrial components. The chief executive officer of Neurorobotics, David Raker, believes that the real difference in the next generation of robots will not only be in the mechanics, but in the training data. According to him, whoever has the best physical data of interaction with the real world will set the pace of the robotics revolution. That's why the center should house hundreds of robots training continuously, thus creating a huge database of physical movements. In addition to research, the place will also be used to train human engineers and students in new robotics technologies, as well as artificial intelligence. And in the midst of this growing competition between the United States, China, and Europe, the German researcher producers emphasize the project's strategic goal to ensure its success. Outside the protection of Earth's magnetic field, human astronauts are exposed to radiation levels that can cause serious DNA damage, drastically increase the risk of cancer, and compromise long-duration missions. And according to many researchers, the materials currently used in spacecraft simply aren't enough to protect astronauts during a trip to Mars, for example. But a researcher from Massachusetts Institute of Technology may have found a promising way to solve this problem. Dr. Parag Patel from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is working with a material that is extremely advanced, based on boron nitride nanotubes, known as boron nitride nanotubes. These structures are tiny hollow cylinders, formed by atoms arranged on a nanometric scale. And although they are invisible to the naked eye, they have some very impressive properties. Boron nitride nanotubes are extremely strong, lightweight, and highly efficient at absorbing radiation. The problem is that until recently, it was very difficult to incorporate them in large quantities into the materials used in the aerospace industry. But Patel says he has developed a method that allows up to 50% weight concentration within the material. This creates a kind of lightweight and extremely strong shield against ionizing radiation. If these technologies keep evolving the way they're saying, materials like these could become a fundamental part of future spacecraft. But understanding space is just one of the mysteries that science has been trying to solve. There's another one that's also quite complex: our brain. And now, researchers have taken a pretty impressive step toward decoding it. Yeah, that's dangerous, huh? Imagine if it were possible to find out exactly what someone is seeing just by analyzing that person's brain. No camera, no recording, just the electrical signals from their brain. It might seem like something far off, something only related to science fiction, movies, or television shows out there. But researchers at University College London in the United Kingdom have taken a step in that direction. In a new published study, the scientists were able to reconstruct videos of up to 10 seconds that were watched by rats. And they did this using only the neural activity recorded in the animals' brains. If you follow me here on Amazing Reality, you already know that previous research had already tried something similar, but with humans, using functional magnetic resonance imaging machines, known as fMRI. But this new approach here was much more precise. Instead of observing large areas of the brain, the researchers recorded the activity of individual neurons in the visual cortex. In other words, they directly tracked which cells were being activated while the rats were watching the videos. To do this, the scientists monitored small variations in calcium levels inside the cells, a clear indicator of neural activity. With this data, the team created a computational model called the Dynamic Neural Encoding Model. This system tries to predict how each neuron responds to different images or frames of a video. From there, the researchers did something quite curious. They started with a completely blank digital screen and then used the recorded brain signals to update the pixels of the image until the video was reconstructed and got close to the real visual experience the animal had. The result was surprising. The scientists were indeed able to generate approximate versions of the videos the rats were watching, using only the signals from the brain. The accuracy was verified by comparing the reconstructed videos with the original images the rat was seeing. This was done frame by frame, and the more neurons were monitored, the more accurate the reconstruction became. Yeah, my friends, while scientists are trying to understand how our mind works, to read our thoughts, other technologies are being developed to observe threats that may come from the sky itself. There's a type of modern weapon that is keeping many military strategists around the world awake at night: hypersonic missiles. These weapons can travel at speeds greater than 5 times the speed of sound, and they can also perform unpredictable maneuvers during flight. This makes it extremely difficult to detect and intercept them using traditional defense systems. Now, the United States is betting on a new strategy to face this challenge: an advanced network of military satellites around the planet which is capable of detecting missile launches directly from space. The project is part of the MWT program, which was developed by the United States Space Force. This new constellation, called EPOC-2, will be made up of 10 satellites positioned in medium Earth orbit. This region of space is a strategic position, high enough to observe huge areas of the planet at once, but still close enough to detect extremely faint thermal signatures, like the heat generated by hypersonic missiles during maneuvers. When this new network becomes operational, it will join 12 first-generation satellites of the system, thus forming a kind of orbital mesh. In other words, a network of sensors so widely distributed that it becomes extremely difficult to neutralize it with anti-satellite attacks. If you like this episode, please like and make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for staying with me. See you next time. Just click one of the 2 suggestions on your screen. Thank you for always making it to this moment. Thanks. Bye-bye. It's really good to have you here. Actually, I can't see you.